Hello everyone, welcome to an exciting episode. My name is Rookie Pilot, and today we will be going over a couple options when it comes to upgrading your listening experience in your vehicle. Whether you have an older car that doesn't even have Bluetooth or an aux cord, or you have a newer car and you just want to add a little bit of we have a wide range of options today, some as little as $15 all the way up to a full system. So let's dive right in. To start off, we have what is called an FM transmitter, and this is for the vehicles that don't have Bluetooth or an aux cord. You plug this into your cigarette lighter, tune in the frequency on your radio, and bam, you have Bluetooth audio. This is the easiest and most cost-efficient way of getting Bluetooth in your vehicle, but with that comes some sacrifices. The quality of your audio is not going to be as crisp, and you're on radio frequency, so sometimes you're gonna hear a little bit extra static, but this is what I have been using in my vehicle until today. The next improvement would be upgrading your factory speakers to some aftermarket ones. Now there's a ton of brands that you can choose from depending on your budget. Today we will be using a variety of Kicker CS series. We have 4 6.5-inch speakers, 2 4x6 speakers, and 2 3/4-inch tweeters. We opted to go with the coaxial option, meaning that they have a tweeter built into the center of them to give you a wider range of frequencies. The speaker install itself is pretty straightforward. You have one positive and one negative, and your speakers should work, but it's everything in between that can make it difficult. If you're lucky, you just have to pop off a cover and it'll reveal the speaker, but more than likely you'll have to remove a couple interior panels, and those panels are likely connected to a door lock and or a window switch. And if you're really unlucky, after you remove all of those panels, you might be met with some speakers that are mounted with rivets instead of screws. And if you come across this, it isn't the end of the world. You just drill them out and reuse rivets or use larger screws. So again, the difficulty level largely depends on the vehicle you're working on. In our case, we are working on a 2002 Chevy Astro van, which from the factory has a total of 8 speakers. Another issue that you may encounter is mounting the tweeters. Usually factory style tweeters have a vehicle specific mounting, which is an issue we encountered. There's quite a bit of difference, obviously. Small issue with these tweeters, they don't exactly fit through this hole, but we got a solution for that. And even if I would have butchered it, which I didn't, the speaker grill covers this. And look at that. Now she fits. That's what it looks like mounted. And once we pop this grill back on, damn. Tweet, motherfucker. Next up, if you want to get a little bit deeper into the upgrades, I would recommend upgrading your head unit. A new head unit will bring a little bit more power to your speakers, as well as you will have the built-in Bluetooth capabilities. There are multiple options depending on what vehicle you have. You could either go single DIN or double DIN. In our case, I really wanted to have wireless Apple CarPlay, so that's where this Atoto X10 comes in. We'll get into this a little bit later. Before we even think about installing our new stereo, we need what is called a dash install kit. These are vehicle specific kits that come with everything you need to make the process as seamless as possible. In the box, you will get a wiring harness that connects directly to your factory harness. You will also get some mounting brackets that will make your new stereo install just like your factory one, as well as a trim piece to give you the closest thing to a factory look. Now, every one of these kits that I've used in the past has usually been plug and play without any modifications, besides this one. The reason for that is our factory head unit is like a 1.5 DIN. So it's too small for a dual DIN and too big for a single DIN. So it comes with these pieces. This is a template, and we pretty much have to cut out everything we see within this template. So this strip at the bottom and this strip at the top. This is the first time I've had to do this with a metric kit. I've heard a couple not good stories on this specific kit for the Astro, but we are pretty limited in options, and it seems like they're the only ones that make a kit for this. So we're gonna keep on keeping on. All right, after all that trimming, this is what it looks like, and I gotta say, it's not as bad as I thought it was gonna be. I've heard a lot of complaints about this kit but it actually fit pretty flush at the top, the sides, as well as the bottom. I guess we won't know for sure until we pop it back in, but I like that. Now that we have that dash kit installed, let's take a look at our new head unit. This is an Atoto X10 7-inch display. Now, full disclosure, Atoto did send this out to me after I reached out to them. And the reason I chose this head unit is because it comes with wireless Apple CarPlay, which is a must if I'm gonna be using this van to travel at all. Wow. That's a pretty display. I don't know who still uses micro SD cards for their music. If we look on the back side, these are all our connections. We have our power, our RCA inputs. We have the rear view camera, front view camera, optional microphone, HDMI. We have a lot of stuff going on here. Included power harness, looks like a GPS antenna, included rear view camera. Wow, that is cool. They include a screen protector. I'm actually gonna put that on right now. That's way too much bubbles. Okay, I'm gonna keep that off for now. Luckily, they included 2 screen protectors. So obviously, I can't put one on. Using the harness that came with the dash install kit, as well as the harness that came with the new stereo, we are going to merge them together. This part may look intimidating, but I promise it's not, because everything is already labeled. As you can see, front right negative, front right positive, FM, accessory, dimmer, and the one on the Metro kit is also labeled on the wires themselves. So this is going to be a breeze. We're going to use some butt connectors. If anyone gets pissy about us using butt connectors instead of soldering them, come to Arizona so you can solder them for me, and after that you can kiss my... Alright, so we are done with our connections. As you can see, they're all good here. I tested all of them. But we have a couple wires left here, so let's run through them. First, we have a parking brake wire, which we're not going to use. Then we have a steering wheel key wire, which we're also not going to use. We're only going to use these 2 remaining ones. This pink wire is going to get tapped into our reverse light circuit. So when we put it into reverse, it's going to signal this wire and switch the screen over to our reverse camera. Then this blue wire is going to be our amplifier turn on. Oh, we also have this big chunky one here. And this is for an aux cord. I don't think I'm going to be using it at all, so we're just going to leave it like this. What you would do is to hook up an aux extension so you could then run the aux cord outside of the back of the radio, and then you can plug in your aux there. But we're going to have Bluetooth. So back inside the vehicle, we have our Atoto doubled in here. We're going to connect everything just to see if everything is working as it should before we continue. So again, this harness just plugs into the factory harness, easy peasy. Plugs into the back of the Atoto. Click. Oh snap! I do like that it has physical buttons rather than touch buttons. Okay, let's see if we can set up our Apple CarPlay here. Okay, so we're in the Apple CarPlay mode now. Let's play some Muse. That already sounds way better than the factory stereo. Okay, so all our wiring worked really well. We're gonna disconnect this, set it aside. Then we're not gonna use the brackets that came with the Atoto radio. We're gonna use the ones that Metra sent. We want this guy to click in like the factory radio did. And voila! Now will you come out easy? Maybe I need 5 hands for this. Nah, we're good. Nice, okay, I like that. So working in reverse order, once we get everything buttoned back up, it should look something like this. And I gotta say, I'm really happy with the fit and finish of this dash install kit. Like I said, I saw a lot of bad reviews on this product, but I believe it has something to do with the way that the dash was trimmed, because this one fits pretty snug all the way around. It doesn't feel flimsy, and there's no gaps on the top, bottom, or sides. That paired with the Atoto display honestly looks like it belongs in the van. But this isn't isn't the end of the road just yet, because we have one more upgrade on the list, which I believe is one of the most important. And last but not least, we have the big bass. A subwoofer is one of the best things you can do to your sound system, factory or not, because it will unlock a frequency range in your music that you possibly have never even heard. Now, our goal isn't to rattle off our mirrors and windows. We just want to add a rich depth to our sound. For this application, we decided to go with a 12-inch powered sub, meaning that it has the amplifier built into it, which is honestly one of my favorite combinations because the amplifier is already set, it's already in there. You don't have to find an additional mounting location and have to run wires from this to that. It's all ready to go out of the box. The subwoofer we're working with today is a JBL Bass Pro 12. I have used the previous version of the JBL Bass Pro in my 66 Mustang and I really liked it, so I'm excited to see how this new version holds up. Now, this is just a general idea. You don't have to get these exact items and these exact brands. The concept will be the same. Along with the subwoofer, you will need an install kit that's going to come with your power wire, ground wire, remote signal wire, maybe some RCAs and a fuse. So let's quickly go over what these do. The main power wire is going to feed the amplifier directly from the battery with a fuse in between. Our ground wire is going to sit near the amplifier and get grounded somewhere on the chassis. Our remote signal wire is going to get hooked up to a 12-volt ignition source, letting the amp know when to turn on. The RCAs is what is going to provide the amplifier with the audio frequencies. And we have some additional speaker wires here just in case we wanted to use a high input signal. Well, what is a high level input and why would I want to use it? A high level input is the alternative to using the RCA cables, and you're going to want to use this if you're keeping your factory stereo, which in most modern vehicles is going to be the case. The reason for that is that factory stereos do not normally have RCA outputs. So instead of the RCAs, your subwoofer is going to receive the audio signal from your rear speakers. The way you do this is you tap into the left speaker positive and negative, as well as the right speaker positive and negative, and boom, there you have it, your high level inputs. Either option works perfectly fine, it just depends on what is easier for your application. In this kit also came some zip ties, terminal ends, crimps, etc. Now we could get into the install process. The hardest part of all of this is going to be routing the wires. The main power cable is going to go from the battery through the firewall, down the kick panel, through the door sill, behind the rear panels, and out to wherever the amp is. In our case, it's all the way in the back. You do want to make sure you place the fuse as close to the battery as possible. The RCAs and remote turn on wire are pretty much going to follow the same route other than going through the firewall because they are already behind the dash. Now we do have one extra wire to route in that same direction, and that is going to be the reverse camera wire. The last thing to worry about is where your ground location is going to be. These kits usually come with a 3-foot ground cable, so that should leave you plenty of options. And once everything is said and done, this is the end result. As you can see, we have our 2 RCA cables, our remote turn on, our power cable, and our ground. I'm still going to tie these up and put a loom on them. But for the reverse cam wire, we went under this panel, through here, and then through this slinky, which was the hardest part of this whole install. And once we got the wire through, we mounted the camera using some of the 3M double-sided tape. There's a couple things I'd like to mention. 2 major issues that I was not expecting. Number 1, the Astro van came with a built-in amplifier that was messing with the frequencies sent from our head unit. This amplifier was tuned in a way that our most rear speakers were acting as subwoofers, so they were only playing frequencies at 100 or 80 below. There is no need for those speakers to be acting like subwoofers if we already have a subwoofer. So in order to correct this and bring back our mid-range, we had to bypass the amplifier, which wasn't too hard of a process, but it was something that I was not expecting. And now after doing that and tuning our frequencies a little more, it sounds freaking amazing. Issue number 2 is I wasn't able to get the reverse camera to work properly. The remote switch is working fine because when I switch it into reverse, the screen changes, but I'm getting no signal out of that rear camera, which is really weird considering I tapped directly into the reverse light and tested at 12 volts once that reverse was engaged. But even with all that in consideration, for something that kickstarts my morning, carries me through lunch, and allows me to unwind at the end of the day, This upgrade was absolutely worth it. It for real makes me want to drive the van absolutely nowhere, and that is exactly what I did when I finished this install. I even stayed up till 1:30 in the morning in my driveway just listening to music. I don't think my neighbors were very happy. But you know who was happy? The guy sitting in the van at 1:30 in the morning. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully you found it a little bit helpful, and hopefully it inspires one or two of you to go out and upgrade your sound system. Thank you to all our Patreons for supporting the channel. I love you guys, and I will see you on the next one.